How's it going, guys? Matt from Spark, and another riding review of a custom Javelin our team just finished building up. Alright, just like the last time we did this, I always like to start with doing a little overview of the bike. That way you get an idea of what the bike is all about, who's it for, what's its power, what's its range, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. First up, we use a 4,000 watt QS motor. It's a 4T winding, which means it's a medium torque and a medium speed. This is our favorite motor we have tried out. We tried a bunch of them, but this 4T 4,000 watt configuration is a great setup. We're one of the only bikes in the industry that actually uses legitimate motorcycle brakes. This is a dual piston setup. The brake pads are enormous, and this is a 220mm rotor. We also use these spools here that allow you to put the bike on a spool stand to make working on it very easy. It uses foot pegs and has a normal kickstand that's extremely sturdy, has this bash guard on the front that protects the cables, and this hydraulic line. Another massive motorcycle brake up front. We've got this really great fender that's going to protect you in the rain, and this one is running this hooligan headlight. And a lot of you guys are going to say it only has 2 lights, so it can't be that bright. It's not true. This light is insanely bright. It's actually our brightest light. And if you get really close, that's right, you can hear it. There are 2 cooling fans keeping this light cold because that LED puts out so much light. Instead of a high beam, low beam, this hooligan light has yellow and white, so you can change it. Pretty cool. The bike does come with mirrors. A lot of people are wondering, what mirrors does it come with? These are kind of the standard ones we use. Sometimes we'll change it up depending on our supplier, but we've been loving these guys. Yes, it has a horn. Yes, it has turn signals, and obviously that high beam, low beam. And then if we get into the middle here, this first one turns on the 12-volt system. That's all your lighting, your braking, your horns, everything. The second one is the speed setting, so you can see it going from 2 to 3. And this lower one is our special function. So in one mode, it'll do a reverse. If I hold down the button, you gotta hold that button down, otherwise it deactivates the reverse. And then the other function is the cruise control. And just letting you know, cruise control is a little finicky on a far driver. It's a little tricky where you kind of have to time it right while you're throttling and then you release it. It does work, it's just Far Driver's app is a little finicky for that. But most of the time people are not gonna use it, they're gonna use that reverse function. If I open up, we have our massive 40 amp hour battery in a stainless steel case. It comes with a 10 amp charger, which is great. You can charge this battery in about 3, maybe 3.5 hours. That huge storage area where you could put a second backup battery or maybe a charger or your lunch. The bike has these 2 grab handles that are awesome for lifting it up into a car or something like that, or just kind of having another place to hold on to, maybe put a strap so that if you have like a pickup truck. It has this really, really bright rear light that has a brake light, obviously turn signals, and we've been shipping everything out with this little kind of fun moped plate. That just kind of gets you going. That way you don't have to worry about the cops kind of bugging you as you go out there. But also don't forget, on the inside is our VIN plate, so if you do get pulled over by the cops, you can show it's a motor driven cycle. So who is this bike for? This bike is perfect for somebody that is going to be doing maybe a 10 to 15 mile commute to work or to school. You're going to be going between 25-mile-per-hour roads and maybe a couple 45-mile-per-hour roads. We do not recommend taking it on the highway. It is illegal to ride this thing on the highway. Do not do that. The only time you're going to be going past that moped speed limit is on your private property, and if you are on a track. And if people are wondering, what about the track? There are low-speed racing leagues being developed. You can take a look at things like Flat Out Friday, and our bike is being set up to do those flat track races. It's something that we think is going to take maybe a year or 2 to get going, but we are going to be building the bikes in preparation of that. So along that same topic, the bike is designed for a more experienced rider. It's going to hit 55 miles an hour, maybe 60 depending on your weight. It is going to be heavier than most e-bikes. We're looking at just about 200 pounds because of all those motorcycle components. I mean, if you think about it, the fork of this bike weighs more than the entire frame of our past bike called the Bandit, which is crazy. So you really want to be an experienced rider, maybe have been riding e-bikes for a year or 2. But if this is going to be your first e-bike, I would not consider it. This is really an alternative to a light motorcycle, something like a 250 or a 125. This is going to be your alternative. So now let's get into the customization that went on, what makes this bike unique. So the number one thing, obviously, is this incredible paint job. I brought it out here during the sunset just to kind of highlight it. This color is called Illusion Tangerine. Again, if you're wondering what colors we offer, go to prismaticpowders.com and you can see all of the colors they offer. There's literally thousands of different powder coats, and we can do any of them because every bike is made to order. We're not mass producing anything. So this tangerine color, kind of hard to pick it up in the lighting here, but it is a orange color with a little bit of a red flake in there and a little bit of a yellow flake in there. Tangerine is a perfect name for this color, and it kind of matches perfectly with this sunset right now. I kind of walk around. You'll also notice that the color kind of changes a little bit. It is slightly color shifting. So really, really pretty. This customer wanted galvanized panels. One thing to know, with these galvanized panels, we can do vinyl wraps on it. We offer a black vinyl wrap right now and a carbon fiber vinyl wrap, but if you have something specific you want, go to Amazon or eBay or any other supplier and pick out a vinyl wrap, and we can install it for you. It's really not difficult for us to do. Besides that, this bike has a seat by Tapia. This is one of the standard seats. It doesn't have any crazy stitching in it, but these seats are so incredibly comfortable. This customer wanted clip-ons. They are shorter, so I would keep that in mind. I would say if you're under 5'8", you may not want to do the clip-ons. Maybe 5'10", just pushing it. But the taller you are, the more close your knees are going to be to your hands. So you really want to start to consider putting those tracker handlebars if you're 5'8", 5'10", and above. These do have the 12.5-inch shocks on them. Again, if you were taller, we would put on 13.5-inch shocks. And then the other main customization is, of course, that hooligan headlight. It really, really just stands out. I like how asymmetric it is. It's just so unique, and the fact that we can change the color, that's pretty cool too. So if you're interested in buying a Javelin, you can visit our website, sparkcycleworks.com. We try to make these bikes as affordable as we possibly can. I believe they're starting right now at about $44.95. And for a bike that is 100% handmade in Connecticut, and it uses a 4,000 watt 72 volt system, uses all motorcycle grade components, is made by our 7-person team, that price is pretty good. It's kind of hard to compete with. We are now starting to look into other shipping options because, full transparency here, we've sent out quite a few of these bikes, and when we're sending things across the entire country, we have been seeing some boxes get damaged. So if you're interested in a bike and you're concerned about this thing going by UPS, let us know, because we are going to start offering a freight shipment option. It's going to take a little bit longer to get to you, probably more like 2 weeks, but you won't have to put anything together. It'll be fully built. You won't have to worry about any boxes getting slammed by UPS. And we think ultimately this is probably going to be the way that we ship all the bikes. We did send things out by UPS for a while in the beginning there, because to be honest with you, that cost was upwards of $1,000 to $1,200. And, we're now working out a contract with a shipper who's going to support us and see if we can get some competitive pricing. And hopefully you guys can get the bikes more assembled. All right, so now let's take it on the road.